Another good ball game for us. Will Sanders was just good enough to hand the ball to the bullpen. Bosnick was outstanding, and Brett wasn't quite as sharp as he was yesterday, but obviously more than good enough. So real proud of the effort. Offense was real scrappy today. Obviously, we got the benefit of the wind to right field, but you got to do that sometimes. And we've been on the downside of a wrong wind, so that felt like maybe we deserved a little bit of that today.
Or Michael.
Yeah, I was gonna ask you a little bit about that wind, Mark. Just kind of curious, when you see the wind whipping like that, the way it is, do you change your offensive game plan at all? Do you look for maybe an outside pitch and try to drive it the other way? Because it seemed like guys were really trying to go the other way with the ball today.
Yeah, there's a fine line, Mike. I mean, you know that if you do drive a ball that way, that you'll get rewarded. But by the same token, you also know the other team is going to pitch away from that as well. That happened to us in Texas, all 3 games really. Whichever direction the wind was blowing, they pitched just the opposite. And so you can only do that so much. At the end of the day, you still have to just try to take quality bats. Their lefty pitcher was a guy whose ball ran away from our righties anyway, so it was hard for him to pitch too much inside. And so it just kind of, the matchup just kind of played in our favor because of, the run on his fastball, took the ball away from righties, and our guys were able to drive it to right field.
Mark, obviously after losing 2 pretty hotly contested series the last 2 weekends, just how good was this weekend for you guys to not get back on track, but have a weekend where you win 4 games and do it against a top 5 team on the weekend?
Well, I just think it shows the progress of the team. Against Texas, we came up with 0. Against Vanderbilt, we came up with 1. And against Florida, we came up with 3. I don't think you can underestimate the fact that these games were at home as well. And, everybody these days seems to have a really good home field advantage. And we had one this weekend. And so just think it shows the progress of the team. And I think it definitely shows that playing at home matters. And that's why everybody always tries to get home games in the postseason.
John.
Going into today, what were you hoping to get out of Will Sanders? And with the way he's performed not only today, but Tuesday also, do you think about keeping him in that Sunday role?
I mean, we'll evaluate it. What we got out of Will today was about what we hoped to get, about 60 pitches and in 4 innings. If you could average 15 pitches an inning, that's about where you want these guys to be. So about 4 innings. Really 4.32 is what the guys gave us, and that's what you're hoping for. Just like last night, we hoped Jordan could give us 6 or 7, and he did. Today, we hoped it could go 4.32, or at least Bosnick can carry some combination of 5 innings between the 2 of them. And they just gave us exactly what we needed. So it's all about those pitchers this weekend. Their pitchers were tremendous. Obviously, we scored our share of runs too, but it all started on the mound. And, how we move forward with that, we still need to continue to evaluate.
Would you feel comfortable giving him the ball next Sunday?
Well, we gave him the ball today, so I don't know what would change next week. We'll just have to see. We've got options, and we want to continue to look at the options. He obviously will not start on Tuesday, so that could potentially play into it as well.
Colin.
Mark, 2 questions. First, what did you see out of Julian, both, I guess, Friday night and tonight in his first bullpen action in over a year? Well, he was really good. I mean, it's hard to ignore what he did. 2 great outings. 3 innings today, 1 hit, no walks, and 5 strikeouts. Some guys, at this point in his career, maybe this is just a better role for him. He can come in more fearless, come in and not try to pace himself. And for young pitchers, sometimes that's a better role. Sometimes guys need the chance to pace themselves and throw multiple pitches and get into the feel of the game. But for this weekend, anyway, Bosnick was lights out for us. And Michael. I think you guys had close to 20 opposite field hits over 3 games today. Just how pleased are you with the offensive, not only production, but approach at the plate against a team like this, a pitching staff like this? Yeah, I mean, we all know for 20 years, Florida's had some of the best pitching in the country. Just like last week, Vanderbilt has some of the best pitching in the country. And the week before, Texas has, for 50 years, has had the best pitching in the country. So I just think you're seeing guys have gotten better because it's all they see now. It's just, we're facing the best pitchers in the country, and you just hope that what you get out of that is guys get more comfortable with that velocity and they get a better feel for what it takes to hit it.
Michael.
Once again for you guys offensively, it was Eister and Clark who got you guys on the board, and you responded right back, right after Florida took a lead. And, it seemed like all weekend long, every time Florida would do something, you guys would have an answer. Just how important is it just to have that resiliency to be able to come back into a game like that? And just, those guys, those veteran guys, is that just how they're made of, what they're made of?
Yeah, I'd like to think so. And again, they generally say that in this league, the more veteran teams are the better teams, especially offensively. You can get away with young arms sometimes because 96 is 96, no matter how old you are. But position players need at bats under their belt, and they need defensive innings under their belt. And really for a lot of these guys, though, they're playing. They don't have a whole lot of SEC experience under their belt because we have so many new players and because of the pandemic last year. But I just think you're seeing progress. You're seeing progress, and you are, the guys you mentioned, those are guys with big heart. Those are fighters, and it's what you got to have.
John?
You guys were able to pretty much dominate the top 3 hitters in Florida's order, a ton of strikeouts to those guys as well. What was key to being able to do that?
I mean, just good pitchers. And I thought Skylar and the pitchers had a really good game plan. I mean, at the end of the day, you study the opponent's hitters, you match that up with what your guys do well, and then you hope that your guys execute. And I thought we had a good plan, and I thought our pitchers really executed.